In North America, we all know about outlaw legends like Jesse James, Bonnie and Clyde. Well, down here in Australia, we went to a museum, and I'm going to tell you a story about Australia's most notorious outlaw, Ned Kelly. Okay, let's get into this video.
I'm an outlaw, just like Ned.
The 1800s was pretty rough down here in Australia back then, as that's when the British came over to settle with convicts. They started setting up police stations, and the big land grab was on. So of course I don't know all about that history. We're just going to talk a little bit about what we saw in this museum. The Kelly family had a very short but interesting history back in the 1870s, up until 1880 I think it was. And there's actually been 5 separate movies made about their story. I think it was back to 1906 that this movie might have been the first one ever shot. It's 1920, 1970. What's really cool about this movie is look who the lead actor was. Mick Jagger. 2003. This movie had Heath Ledger in the title role, and Orlando Bloom was one of the gang members. And 2020, 5 different movies. Anyhow, we're gonna go into the museum and we're gonna see what we can learn. Ned's first brush with fame came at age 11 when he saved a 7-year-old from a flooded creek. All this while his dad was being sentenced to 6 months for butchering a neighbor's stray calf. When Ned was young, he got convicted for riding a stolen horse. He was just given the horse, he didn't steal it. He was sent to 3 years of hard labor. The guy who actually stole the horse only got 18 months. After prison, Ned spent 3 years of honest hard work, and during that time, he built the family home. Here's a replica of the home at the museum. Let's go take a look. Then this is what might have started it all, the Fitzpatrick incident. Through most of 1877, Ned was part of a major horse stealing gang. His brother Dan became a suspect, and this young police constable, Fitzpatrick, tried to arrest Ned at the family home. There was a brawl there, and Fitzpatrick swore that Miss Kelly had assaulted him and Ned had shot him in the wrist. Ned and Dan became fugitives while Miss Kelly was sentenced to 3 years of hard labor. Now known as the Kelly Gang, between 1878 and 1880 they got big into bank robberies, and they started a movement for the Republic of Northeastern Victoria. The town of Glenrowan was the site of the last stand, and this is where the Kelly Gang had plans to draw the police into a trap. Now this is a replica of the shop where the Kelly Gang made their armor, those metal suits. These are the types of tools that they would have used to make that armor. Right now we're in Glenrowan, and this is where the last stand took place. Now the Kelly Gang had gained a lot of sympathizers over this period as they were denouncing the police, the Victorian government, and the British Empire. They were demanding justice for their family and for the rural poor. They had threatened dire consequences to anybody who defied them. By the end of this gun battle, Ned Kelly was the only survivor, although he was severely wounded by the police fire. He was captured, he was tried, convicted, and sentenced to death by hanging. Despite thousands of supporters attending rallies and signing petitions for his reprieve, it was carried out later that year. In the past century, Kelly and his gang has become a cultural icon, like an Australian equivalent to Robin Hood, while others regard him as a murderous villain undeserving of the folk hero status.